Okay, welcome back. Let's talk about some best practices. So I said about the typing that we already used in our test. Okay, how to add documentation, how to use the result to get the information for returned by the transaction. Um, we can um, do other things, like for example, if you get the result as we demonstrated, and you hold this in a variable, like as we do here, you still can use your assertions to assert the things are working fine. Okay, I will not go deep to this. This is just a way to implement the things. But let's say you don't have this assert here. Let's just copy and comment this code. So let's say we are not asserting the thing here. We are just getting the result. I will call just R for simplicity. And you do lots of processing here. So and at the end you want to assert this thing, or before the process, doesn't matter. You can still use your your application assert to assert the things working fine. The um, implementation is a little bit different. Okay, so we just need to do this. So let's try this. Let's run and check if it works. If I'm not talking shit, it should work, and it didn't work because I again put the wrong documentation here. It's not correct. You can do this not by the application, but by the assert method provided by this assertion. So you can instantiate this assertion, and you can use this assert here. Now it should work. Let's clean up the things here, remove this thing from here, and run again. Okay, now we found another bug in our documentation. If anyone wants to fix it, please go ahead. So this is just to demonstrate that we can get the result, and we can still use our custom asserts, or an assert that's provided by the framework. Okay, all the assertions has the same interface, so it can be done for anyone. Okay, so this is another flexibility provided by the framework. About other things, you can provide, as I said, you need to provide proper verb method. You can use a proper verb method for the application. So in my case, I'm using when, but let's say that you have your applications in another class, or in another in another module, and you want to import your entire module. In this case, you can use the at. If we go to the implementation here, all of these methods do the same thing. So as I say here, same as the at method. So just introduced by better readability. So the when, the at, they are just for improve the readability. Okay. We can also change the verbs. As you see here, we are using behind the scenes the builder pattern to build this framework. So we can use, or a search or do the when method here called other um, other tasks, and we can do this infinitely. Okay, we can do this to the end, or we don't have limit to this. You can chain your entire test in a single construction. Okay, if we execute it, I hope it works because Copilot is might not work, but no problem because it's checking that it's not equal. I would just uh, change it here, and I need to assert that. Okay, I'm okay. That's the problem. I mean, adding a new a new um, a new task here, and our task is not prepared to get um, the correct ID from the table. But I guess you got the idea. You can have a single line of test doing all of the things. So if I do this, if I undo the things that I did, and I merge this test, this line with this one, the test should still work fine. Okay, so this is another feature. You can use this chain construction. Also, give good names to the parameters. So to have good readability, avoid using generic names for your for your parameters. So in this case, for example, search value uh, should be better if you search by text, for example. So you have this flexibility to improve your readability of the test. So don't be lazy, use the feature, okay? And another feature, another best practice that in this case is required, uh, you need to use um, named arguments. So if we go here, we we have this search task and we have this with title here. We cannot remove this because our framework will not use the parameter by index. Okay, so it's necessary to give names the same name of the parameter that you specified in your documentation, in your do method. Okay, the framework will not work if you just put the value of your parameter. Okay, this is intentional to improve the readability. Okay, and to prevent poor poor readability in the test. Okay. And also another thing that you should do that's recommended in this case, when you implement your do method for your transactions, give explicit names to your parameters, okay? You can use the keywords, the framework allows you to do this, but it's not recommended. You can see that it's not explicit in your test. When you build the effect will be the same, but here in your test, you will need to use the keywords to get the correct name of the strings. Okay, so don't do this. Don't use the keywords. Just give good names for your parameter. Okay. Um, and also, the last one is if you are using, for example, Selenium, and you know that there are better um, wrappers to it, or libraries that encapsulate the Selenium syntax or Playwright or whatever what you are using, try to use it. So in this case, we are using Browserist to do the same thing that we did using the Selenium methods. So here we have input, click, button. So the readability is much better when you use these high-level tools. And another one that's very interesting is the Helium. Okay, so again, you have simple functions to write, send keys, to click buttons. Okay, so that's another recommendation. Okay, um, yeah, it's not finished. We have other features to talk about, so we'll wait you there. Bye bye.